I made this game in just 48 hours with little to no experience in Godot Game Engine. How did I do it? It wasn't easy. I had to learn the engine, not that one, to even get started making the game. Yeah, obviously. So, I had a hard time making the Brackies game, which I used to learn Godot because of my stupidity, which you will find out later in the video. Was able to make whatever this is. I just had somewhere about 2 hours to make this, so don't judge me. And found one of the core mechanics for the final game. It was challenging though. You might be wondering, all this in only 2 days? No. I took another 48 hours just to learn the engine, so it will be 4 in total. Because 48 hours is 2 days and 2 plus 2 is 4. See, I am smart. Let's start with day 1. The plan for the day is to understand the basics of Godot. Godot. How the hell should I pronounce this?
Godot.
Saying Godot looks kind of professional, which I'm not by the way. Anyways, I'm gonna be sticking with that. But back to day 1. Understand the structure and how things work and just grasp the overall working of the engine. So I went onto YouTube and searched for Godot tutorial, and look who is back, the god himself, Brackies. When we needed the goat the most, the goat arrived. Yeah, I'm pretty bad with sayings. But anyways, it is perfect as it is a beginner tutorial. It's even not that long and it will give me overall basics of Godot, which is the goal. And it's made by Brackies, so it will be perfect. Not gonna lie, I got lucky here. Thank you Brackies for saving me. So I started watching the video and I didn't just follow the tutorial simultaneously, like copying and pasting what was shown in the video, but watched the full section without doing anything and just observing and learning, and then tried to do that part by myself without seeing the video, and if I got stuck, I just referred the video back. By this, I don't just mindlessly copy the steps shown in the tutorial, and when I try to do it myself, I don't know anything and can't make stuff by myself. What do I do? Feeling it was all waste of time and doubting my capabilities. This is called tutorial hell, where when you want to do anything by yourself, you are not able to because you have not effectively learned to use the engine and rely on tutorials for making stuff. So try this method by yourself, and if it works, else you have YouTube. There are plenty of tips out there for free. So everything was going pretty good. The video was all about making a Mario style platformer game with enemies and basic mechanics for learning the engine. But I was way slower than I thought. I thought that I could finish that tutorial into 1.5 hours and start another one, but I was way out of the lines. I was in enemy part, having almost half the tutorial remaining. I thought of myself some genius that I could finish the tutorial in 2 hours. But then disaster struck. The enemy was going through walls and not changing its directions as intended. Enemy uses something called raycast. Raycasts are nothing but a line or ray from origin with a length, and when something comes in contact with it, it emits a signal, which we can use to do stuff. But for some wild reason, it was not working as intended. Obviously, it can't be my mistake, right? Obviously not, right? After trying to find solution for quite some time, I went to bed. As once a clever man said, if you can't find the solution, hit the sack and then the solution will find you. Welcome to day 2 ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty exciting one as I found one of the core mechanics for the final game. So the plan for the day is to first of all get rid of that stupid annoying bug, finally finish the Brackies game as soon as possible, and then learn some other stuff on YouTube about Godot, like how coding works as I have no understanding about programming in Godot. Then to make a small game to put my learnings into practice, not the final one by the way. So let's turn on pure mode for fixing the bug. So I went back to the video and watched the section where I went wrong and found one thing that my stupid brain did for no reason. I had made left and right recast child of an empty node. What that does is, when you place the enemy scene or class into the level, due to the node, the recasts are set to 0, on X and Y axis, it is the origin, and they are not on the enemy, so it doesn't detect collisions. Now look, if I unparent them. And fix. That is the most stupid and basic mistake I could have done. Please don't leave the video after witnessing this. So while I was following the tutorial, I tried to do one mechanic by myself, mushroom. As you know, mushrooms act like jump pad in games, so I wanted to make one. And it was hard to make it work as I thought in my mind because of my little to no knowledge about how Godot works. But I came up with this somehow. I know it is not working properly, but I have no time to waste, so I kept it at that stage and moved on. Then I watched some tips and tricks on how to learn GDScript, Godot's programming language, quickly, and thought to myself, as I have made games in past in Unity, so at least I know how to program things. Trust me. Let's try to make the mechanics of a simple game on my own and solve the problems I face along the way with the use of internet, effectively hitting 2 stones with a bird. My bad, 1 stone with 2 birds. I had watched this video by Gambit, a great game developer and a YouTuber, where he makes this game in 24 hours. So I got inspired to try to make this game as it is a simple one. Remember, I only have somewhat 2 hours to make this, so it's not gonna be perfect and can't finish the whole game. So I started making the bubble and made an animation for scaling it. I made a custom cursor in Photoshop and made it smoothly follow the actual cursor in game, and honestly it makes cursor movement so much better. Here you can see the difference it makes. You can't see that much difference, but when you play it for yourself, you can feel it. What I did is, I just used looping concept, which makes it follow the actual cursor where the speed depends upon the distance in between them. The less the distance, the slower it moves towards it, and vice versa. Then I experimented with Godot's particle system. It's quite similar to Unity's but not as capable. Then I made this particle effect for bursting up the bubble but couldn't figure out how to make it work properly, and as there was no time left, I concluded the game right there, and yeah. At the end of the day, I felt pretty good of myself as I was getting a little hang of the software and was comfortable using it. So I was a bit confident for upcoming challenge. Yeah, it's finally day 3. Now the challenge of making the game in Godot, where I have little to no experience. I have to make a game in just 48 hours. So today I got many things done, so stick around. So as you know, I'm making an old game, you might have played it before, where the chicken drops eggs and you have to collect it with the basket. Yeah, it's pretty basic concept. Today I will get the basic working of the game ready, the functioning of stuff and basic program. Quick note here, if you have made it so far, it means you like the video. So just hit like button, and wanna see more such content, subscribe, as it will help me a lot, and as this is a small channel, it will help me even more. It doesn't take that much time, so please. Thanks a lot. Back to the video. Get the framework ready so that I can polish and work on graphics the next day. So first I started by making the chicken image in Photoshop, and sadly I came up with this shit. Yeah, it's awful. I am not good with Photoshop, so it looks like dog shit. After that, I took some reference from Google and used Krita this time to make another image. Using references and software you know makes life so much easier, and made this image so much better. Look at the result. He even has got shoes. He's a civilized man. Then I made ground, rope and X and brought them into Unity Godot habit and made X spawn when I clicked. Then started integrating the basket and just have a quick look. Yes, basket is integrated. It's a little big, so let's make it a tad bit more. Then I made X spawn automatically and made it so that they spawn after some random time, which I can set limits. Currently it's 1 to 5 seconds. Then got carried away and played for next 15 minutes. Yeah, it's really satisfying and fun, so you have to try it out later. Now let's talk about a difference I found in programming in Godot versus Unity. If you want to skip this part as it can be a bit technical, feel free to go to this timestamp in the video. So let's go in. Just say for instance, I want to access add point function in Game Manager which adds 1 point to the scope. In Unity, I just create a script called Game Manager and then have a public add point function in that script. Then in another script where I want to access it, I get a variable of type Game Manager and give it a name Game Manager, which it can be anything. Then I can access just by typing Game Manager.addPoint, which it autocompletes as the object Game Manager is of type Game Manager, so I can access all the functions. So let's do the same in Godot. Same do a add point function in Game Manager scene script. Then let's access it where I need it. And look, the variable Game Manager is of type var, not Game Manager. So when I try to access add point function, it doesn't autocomplete and I have to write manually the correct spelling as it doesn't know the type. But it works when I try to run it as it checks if the function exists at runtime. Both systems work differently as Unity uses C#, which is based on C language, and GDScript is kind of based on Python, and the integration into engine is different, so working of both is naturally different. Then I added a score counter and added 4 more chickens. Yeah, now there are a total of 5 chickens because 4 plus 1 is 5. Quick maths.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now the game is coming pretty well together and the game is more fun to play, so I just played for another 10-15 minutes. Again. Then I made a game over screen, but still there is no way to lose the game. But let's see that in next day. The next day. Without wasting any more time, let's go straight into day 4 because the game went from this to this. And there's a lot to cover. So first, I got on to work on game overthinking. It was quite a bit of hustling to make it work than I initially anticipated, just because many things need to communicate with each other and learning the concepts was a bit confusing for me as I am a C# nerd, due to which my brain finds it difficult to understand Python concepts. I even made it so that chickens move a little distance after some random interval. I think that adds more complexity to the game, which is good. Now it is time to work on the background of the game. It's just blue all this time, which is boring. I tried to make it by my own, but at the end result, I was not satisfied by it. But while I am editing this and I see it's kinda good, it's not that bad. But the one I used, it's even better, so no problem. As once a wise man said, you can't do everything by yourself. You can't be master of everything. After listening to that wise man, I used some images from Google like this one, and finally found the gem. This image is by Vector Pouch and it really fits the theme I was looking for the game, and I love it. What do you think? Now it is time to work on the chicken, as all this time the chicken had no shoes. Psych, you didn't notice it. You were too busy looking at those eyes. You might have noticed, but you are not cool, okay? Make my prank successful. Now the game looks pretty damn good and in some way cozy. Don't look up there, I need to fix it. Now it is time to add sounds. I hopped onto Audacity to record some sounds. It took quite a bit of time, but I came up with these. Yeah, it's my own sound, but after editing it, it sounds something like this. Then got other sounds from the internet, mainly from YouTube, and looking for the sounds which match the vibe and the theme of the game was kinda tricky. Quickly made a UI for the X which has been messed and dropped on the floor, and working with the text was kind of complex. And honestly, it didn't need it to be this complex. But after going through all those difficulties, I think that was worth it. The game turned out to be pretty good. Then I went all in focus mode for another hour, tuning everything so that everything fits together, and the game is complete. Yes! Yeah, it doesn't have a main menu, but it's okay. Who wants main menu in 2024? But anyways, I enjoyed the challenge. Thanks for watching till the end. You are a true legend. By the way, you can download this game, link in the description. Comment down what you want me to do in the next video. If you enjoyed the video, like it or not, or just anything. Give a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Please. See you in the next video. See ya.